What is up, Decaf Nation? Welcome back to the video. Today we are going to be talking about Hendrick Motorsports in 2021 and my predictions for the team. Make sure you leave your predictions for the team down in the comments. And yeah, make sure you like this video. Subscribe if you haven't. And we got a lot to talk about. So with that being said, let's just get into it here. 9 of the last 19 championships have come from Hendrick Motorsports. So my favorite team obviously has a pretty successful past. However, before this year, you could say that there was a little bit of a drop-off, obviously, huge notable names that they had retired in the past decade. Dale Jr., Jeff Gordon, one of the best to ever do it. Mark Martin raced for them for a little bit. He retired. And now Jimmy was on his way out as well. And the young guys were doing okay, but they weren't, all living up to the hype yet, Chase Elliott was getting there, not everybody else, though. So, we were kind of at a turning point going into this season, you know what I mean? With the greatest driver of all time, or one of the best at least, leaving the team. Their other huge names already left the team. It seemed like things could go downhill. However, they came out firing on all cylinders in 2020. Chase Elliott obviously won the championship. They had 3 drivers, including the 3 that will be staying on the team in 2021 in the playoffs. Jimmy had a rough season, but Jimmy has had, honestly, a couple of rough seasons lately. So, it was a very successful 2020 for Hendrick Motorsports. One in the final 8, one in the final 4, and one in the final 16. But let's not forget, before this season, times were tough. 6 of their 8 championships in the last 19 years were more than 10 years ago. The last one was in 2016. However, Jimmy has had a noticeable drop-off since then. Their best driver was on the skids. Their other drivers were young. And if you think back to around earlier in the season, maybe around July or August, there were rumors that Hendrick would be dropping down to a 3-car team next year with nobody replacing Jimmy Johnson in the 48. And that rumor seemed to be even more true when they announced that Alex Bowman would be flipping to the 48. But then people started speculating. They were like, well, maybe, if you can remember, which I'm sure you can, earlier in the season, Kyle Larson made a mistake that had him not being very favorable with many sponsors. So they were like, well, maybe Ally wanted Alex Bowman in the 48, and they were going to get Kyle Larson to come drive the 4th car. And sure enough, that's what happened. This is what we call the light at the end of the tunnel. And then things got closer to the playoffs. Daytona rolled around. Jimmy and William Byron were on the bubble, and in a dramatic, to say the least, finish, William Byron won the race, secured his ticket. Jimmy was out, and Bowman had won at Auto Club earlier, so he was in, and Chase Elliott is Chase Elliott, so of course he was in. And as things got down to it, William was eliminated pretty easily in the round of 16. Bowman made it to the round of 8, which was impressive. Shows a lot of talent, and things are looking bright for him next year. And Chase Elliott obviously won. So, with that being said, looking towards next season, there's nowhere to go but up, honestly. And they were already pretty high after this season. And I am very, very excited. And here's why. Kyle Larson, he made a mistake, but that was neither here nor there. On the track, Kyle Larson is an absolute legend. In the 42 of Chip Ganassi Racing, he would get the best out of that car week in and week out. Just a phenomenal driver. And honestly, he's so young. He has, prospects to just go absolutely to the moon with Hendrick in the number 5 next year and going forward. And that's the thing that's really promising for Hendrick Motorsports is that all 4 of their drivers are talented and young. Chase Elliott will probably be on that team for who knows how long. The fact that he won a championship there, I don't see him leaving anytime soon. You know, Bowman and Byron, they'll probably be there for a while. And Bowman, honestly, he was a little shaky this year. He had a great start for the before COVID, and then as the summer went on, you know, he had a little bit of rough time, but then things really picked up in the playoffs, and he had an awesome playoff run. William Byron, I'd say, is right now the weakest link on that team, but he's still got talent. He made it into the playoffs, and honestly, it's going to take a little bit of time to develop, but I do believe that he will be another massive talent for Hendrick Motorsports. So with 4 cars firing on all cylinders, I think this team is going to have a renaissance. And that's crazy to say because it's only been 4 years since they got their last title, and then they won one this year. But this team is going to be incredible going forward, and I don't see him slowing down anytime soon, which is just an absolute delight to say. However, in all this happiness, there has been one absolutely massive loss. RIP to the 88 car. Dale Jr., you know, he was always the most popular and arguably the weakest of the big 3 at Hendrick. Never won a championship, but the 88 is iconic, and I am absolutely devastated to see it go. I hope that it gets to make its return someday. I would not be surprised, to be honest, but man, if they were running, you know, this won't happen ever, obviously, but if they would have run the 5, the 24, the 48, and the 88, I thought that would have been just nuts. But that's not going to happen, unfortunately. It is kind of crazy, though, and I think it does say something about Hendrick that the 2 most popular drivers of, you know, the 21st century have been both on that team, you know, Chase Elliott and Dale Jr. That's pretty crazy. You know, both second-generation talents, which is probably why, to be fair. But pretty cool, to be honest. And, you know, that's just my take. Let me know yours down in the comments. I hope you guys are having a great and blessed day. And, you know, with that being said, this has been DKF Dr. Thunder. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And I will see you guys next time.